We have some breaking news coming in, and of course, we'll like to take your reaction on it afterwards. The US President Donald Trump has threatened Iran with force never seen before if they retaliate. Well, Trump's comments on social media came as Iran's Revolutionary Guards vowed to launch the most ferocious operation in history against Israel and US bases in retaliation for the killing of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. While taking to social media, Trump said that Iran just stated that they are going to hit very hard today, harder than they have ever hit before. They better not do that, however, because if they do, we will hit them with a force that has never been seen before. This is what he said. And Iranian state television has claimed that Iranian forces hit 27 US bases in the region, as well as Israel's military headquarters and a defense industries complex in Tel Aviv in the latest wave of attacks. Well, fresh blasts were also heard across the Gulf cities of Dubai, Doha and Panama. Blasts were heard in Dubai, Bahrain's capital Manama, and Qatar, with thick black smoke rising on the horizon. The new explosions came a day after a deadly Iranian strike in the Emirati capital Abu Dhabi, as well as hits on military bases and civilian infrastructure across the Gulf. Except for mediator Oman, and Iran's attacks on the Gulf has raised fears of a wider regional conflict and rattled the region, which has long been seen as a haven for peace and security in the turbulent Middle East. Iran has also claimed to hit 2 ships in Indian Ocean. The official account of the Embassy of the Iran in India posted that an MSP ship, which was carrying ammunition for American vessels, as well as MST-class combat support ship carrying fuel for American vessels, was also hit. This is the latest we're getting. Now, Dr. Laris, I would just like to quickly understand from you, where are things headed? What is this escalation pointing towards? Do we think that diplomacy is still an option going forward, or have the rules been completely changed after the attacks this time?
There's always chance for diplomacy. Boy, this would be like a really good time for the Iranian leadership to come to the table. But honestly, how are they going to do that publicly, right? I mean, to the Iranian public, they cannot, make it seem as if they are surrendering, submitting, or being bullied, right? So they're going to hit back with as much as they can, because the U.S. and Israel hit them really hard. Every country has the right to defend itself. And so, as you've mentioned in your newscast, America has a lot of bases there. They're going to continue to try to hit them. Again, because the U.S. is so strong, they're going to try and hit Israel, because Israel is strong, but it's smaller and it's right there, in the neighborhood. And so that's probably where they're going to concentrate their fire. But, going on after this, it would be a really good idea for Europe and other countries now to say, okay, let's have multinational, multilateral peace talks that have to involve the United States, Israel, and your European countries and the Gulf countries. Everyone's got to sit at the table. So there's always a chance, but the missiles are going to be flying before anyone comes to the table.
Right, and as you've mentioned, the US has many military bases, in fact 13 military bases across the Middle East, with 30,000 to 40,000 troops which are normally deployed between them. And now the US military has been building its presence in the region for weeks now. We have the USS Gerald R. Ford, the USS Abraham Lincoln also deployed in the region. Now, do you think there's going to be a chance where we can see US boots perhaps in Iran?
Oof, yeah. I believe, okay, what I'm hearing is, of course, that wants to be avoided. U.S. is trying to avoid that. Iran is a good-sized country. It has some really inhospitable terrain. It's a huge population. So, yeah, you raise a really good question, because right now it's mostly air power. It has only air power ever, let's say, defeated an adversary. Again, we need to go back to the goals. And the goal is to abolish, destroy, neutralize, Iran's nuclear weapons capability, right? It's programmed down the road. That's number one. Number two is definitely to support the people, to give the people a window, an opportunity, a chance to rise up. The problem very often happens is mission creep, right? Settles in. That is, you have one goal and then extends to another, and then that mission creep in all likelihood is overthrowing the regime and nation building. That is not on the agenda right now. No one is talking about nation building. And so that's why hopefully we will not see boots on the ground, because if we do, then that's going to be a protracted issue, definitely.
Right. Of course, we'll have to wait and see how the situation develops. But for now, thank you so much, Dr. Laris, for joining us on the broadcast and helping us make sense of all these developments. Also, our correspondent, Kripa, who's been getting us all the latest. Thank you both. And with that, it's time for us to slip into a very short break. Stay tuned. You're watching Beyond World is One.